I am puzzled. I'm gonna need you to explain it because it is real, this thing we're talking
Yeah.
about, and nobody knows how it's done.
Counter to intelligence. Welcome to Counter to Intelligence. I am Ken the Bunker. With me is my blue wearing shirt friend.
Tom, the absolute debunker, who does want to acknowledge there are aliens in your house right now.
There's nothing to
Nothing
see.
to
I don't know
see.
what you're talking about.
All right.
Nothing to see behind me. I don't know why you're even bringing that up.
Yeah, it's crazy of me. I should be
Yeah.
debunking it.
Yeah. You should be like, that's not an alien.
It's not
That's,
anything. What is that? It's
yeah,
eggs.
yeah,
Maybe it's eggs.
yeah,
Eggs
yeah.
are expensive. You're
It's,
probably hoarding
it's,
them.
it's swamp gas or personal gas.
Oh,
Either
all
one
right.
that's
That
been
that should be
illuminated.
behind me though. I would suspect that more of
Yeah,
myself than you. So
yeah, true, true. Well, we got a cool show, or I think it'll be cool. We got a
it's
cool
gonna
thing
be
to discuss. I mean, it's weird because it's not quite a controversial or a conspiracy so
right.
much as it's a weird thing. I guess the conspiracy gets into how was it done, why was it done, and
Yeah.
what so because it's bizarre. And what we're talking about is the Coral Castle, and this is one that like a lot of people may not have heard of. It's on the fringes of bizarreness. Last week I kind of told you how when I was driving down to the Key West, I saw a sign for it because it's in Homestead, Florida, and you kind of go past it's south of Miami, and you before you get to the Keys is Homestead and so forth. And it it's this place, the Coral Castle. I didn't know what it was at the time, and I'm kicking myself now because I wish I would have stopped because
Yeah.
I lived in Florida and I had not heard of it. It wasn't until I left Florida and moved up here, and it was years after being up here that I heard about it, and then I read about it, and I was like, "What is this? It's so bizarre."
Yeah.
So, what it is to explain, like I said, the Coral Castle is this. It's a castle that was built in Homestead, Florida, uh, and it's kind of like a weird stone monument, similar to like the pyramids or Stonehenge. Um, and not that it's ginormous, but because of no one really knows how this thing was built. They can't explain it.
Right.
And like people have tried to figure out the pyramids, how they were done, and how Stonehenge, and this is the same thing. How was this built? And this was built relatively recent compared to the others.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but basically, what it is you have this building, this man named Edward Leedskalnin. He was
Leedskalnin. Yeah, it's very hard to
yeah
pronounce.
he's a Latvian immigrant, and he single handedly carved and moved over 1,000 tons of limestone using tools he allegedly made himself. So
Crazy.
we're going to kind of look at how it goes. So basically, it's a structure. Altogether, they say that it weighs about 30 tons. Um, and these stones are huge, and they were stacked and placed in these things. One of the weirdest things was this 9-ton revolving gate that moves with a touch.
Whoa.
Like it was a 9-ton thing, and you could just push it, and it would move and revolve, and you could go in. And now that I believe that got damaged,
Oh
and
no.
then when people went into trying, the engineers went to repair it, they couldn't figure out how it worked,
Oh
like
my God.
how he made this thing work. Um, so he uh they kind of jerry rigged something new, but
Right.
the other thing this place has, it has what is called a Polaris telescope,
Hmm.
which is like basically it's a hole and you can see, and if you look through it, it is always aligned with the North Star.
Wow. That's
However
pretty
he
cool.
designed it. It has a stone throne room, a sundial, a moon fountain, and even a love shrine. Uh, and it's not actually coral, even though they called it is limestone.
Right. His
So
limestone.
that is the structure. Now let's get back to this guy, Edward, because his story is part of the weirdness of all this. So he was born in Latvia in 1887. Okay, so this
Okay.
was
Long time ago.
over 100 years ago that he
Yeah.
was born. He's not a big dude. All right, so that's the other thing. He was only 5 foot tall, and at his strapping best, when he was the man, he weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah, I read
So
that. It's
he
crazy.
he he
Hmm.
he was a tiny man,
Yes.
you know. So when he was 26 years old, now however you want to take this, I mean, you got to remember this would be in the early 1900s.
Right.
Actually, not even this would be like not even 1900s. I think when he no
Right.
no 26, it'd be early 1900s because
Early. Yeah.
1880. So at 26, he was engaged to a 16-year-old girl, which some people are like, that's creepy, but you know, it is now. At that
It's
time,
not
I don't
now.
know how weird it
Yeah.
was, especially it was in Latvia. So I don't
Right.
really know their customs. So maybe that was kind of the 10-year age gap, at that time in our eyes. That's weird. Back then
Yeah.
it might not have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was engaged to this girl. He called her his sweet 16. Okay, that's kind of creepy. So and but she was engaged, and I guess their families had arranged it or whatever, and she decided no. So she left them the day before the wedding and did not marry him.
Uh,
He was heartbroken by this. So poor Ed left Europe and he wandered the US and Canada and made his way to Florida in the 1920s.
yeah.
Now, he claimed to have only a fourth grade education, but was deeply interested in magnetism and astronomy and engineering.
Interesting.
So he didn't have any kind of degree in anything that would make sense to building this. Uh, he said that he built the castle in honor of his sweet 16, the woman who left him.
Right.
Uh, and basically, it's a physical love letter to her. And he carved it in solitude over 28 years. Uh, and it was started in Florida City. And he later relocated the place to Homestead in the 1930s.
Yeah.
And there again, it's how did he move all this crap? Because he did it by himself.
Yes. Yeah.
He worked on this at night, completely alone. When asked how he moved the stones, he cryptically replied, I understand the laws of weight and leverage.
Huh.
So,
Kind of
so
weird
yeah,
response. Like I would have said, I put it on a truck.
yeah, or yeah, Dolly, but no. But the
Yeah.
thing is,
No dolly.
none of that stuff was found.
Yeah.
So here it gets even, we'll continue down the bizarre road of Mr. Ed, which is not the horse that talks. Uh, Now, the known facts are he used simple tools of pulleys, tripods, chains, and winches, and homemade tools he made from junkyard scrap. Like I said, he moved the structure 10 miles in 1930s without anyone witnessing the process. So he
Right.
moved the whole thing. Nobody saw him do it, but
That's
he did it.
crazy. That's
Uh,
crazy.
Now there is some children who said they spied on him while building it, and they claimed to see the stones levitating
Whoa.
or somehow making them float. Uh, Now here's where we get into some of the theories of how he did it. Uh, Magnetic anti-gravity mystery that Ed had actually written pamphlets like The Magnetic Current, claiming to have discovered the secret of the pyramids.
Hmm.
Some theories that he somehow figured out how to tap the magnetism and Earth's energy or ley lines. Some say he had connections with UFOs and free energy enthusiasts believe he somehow figured out how to manipulate gravitational forces like UFOs did. Others said he somehow came into ancient knowledge of like how the Egyptians built things, and also the tribes in Peru that built those walls that are like so intricately
Right.
built. It's like almost like laser cut, and they can't
Right.
figure it out. Again, you got the alien assistance, hidden technology that he somehow had, forbidden science that has been suppressed by governments or lost to time,
Oh
like
my gosh.
the ancient Atlanteans, or that he was somehow a engineering genius that never just went to school and just knew and figured these things out.
Somehow.
Now,
Yeah.
now the thing is, we get into that. Here's where it gets weird. No one has ever been able to replicate his methods with the same tools he has. Like when
Right.
he died, they found all his tools, and they don't understand how he did this, how he cut the stuff, how he moved it, how anything. And like I said, when the revolving gate broke in the 80s, and I believe it was after that hurricane that came through Homestead, uh, they could not figure out how it worked. They were baffled by it. And they, even with modern tools, they were not able to restore it to the way it was. Because like I said, people said they could just tap it and this thing would move. And now you got to actually like push hard to
For
get
sure.
it to move.
That's bizarre.
And I don't think it's full. I think they made it way less as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, he never let anyone see how he did it. And like I said, whenever he knew someone was watching, he stopped working. Like
Right.
he didn't want them to know. So except you have those children who said they somehow saw it.
If they, I mean, if
He
you're levitating stuff, you got to keep that under wraps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he died in 1951, taking all of his secrets to the grave, which is, I think, kind of selfish because if he actually had some pretty cool things on how to build things,
Yeah.
I wish he would have shared it. He
Yeah.
did he did write some stuff. He wrote a one thing which was a book in every home, which is a weird social commentary and advice in philosophy, which
Oh,
I have
wow.
not read, but now I want to.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the other one, which was called Magnetic Current, which he says it's the explanation of energy and forces that have been ignored by modern science. So
Yeah, I think he's got something. Like who
yeah,
knows how much of his stuff is actually true that he believes, but he figures something out, right? Like that's very bizarre that you can build something that big as one person.
yeah,
Like
and no one
did he
saw him
grind it
do it.
up and like pour it? It's like a pour, like is it a mixture of mortar and limestone that he
No,
like poured
it's
in the
just
form?
limestone blocks. Like if you look pictures of it, there it's like
Yeah,
blocks upon blocks, and it's
yeah,
like it does remind you of the stuff in Peru where it's these weird, or
yeah.
even the Egyptians where it's just they're
Egyptian.
laid out all and perfectly cut, and you're like,
Yeah.
which always makes me. Now, one of the funny things is it's been featured on a lot of shows, but the thing I really thought was funny was Billy Idol's song
Sweet
"Sweet
16.
16" is
Yeah.
about him and the castle,
Oh, that's funny.
which I found that really funny. So
That's a
that
thing
is,
though, right? In history, like the Taj Mahal was is owed to a woman, right? That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
it's
The guy,
yeah,
the king or whatever it was, I don't think he was called king, but
yeah,
whatever he was called, he built it for the love of his life. I think when she died,
yeah.
and but yeah. So what do you think? How do you think he did this? Like I feel like I don't know. I think he knew or figured out something.
He had
Like,
to,
well, obviously that's so lame and like
but
he
something
figured
like
out
real.
something.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
but I
It's
think
something
like
real, some way to move the rocks better than anybody else or something.
now now I've read stuff on like ley lines and like magnetic forces, and if you actually look at like Stonehenge and some of like the different pyramids and stuff, they do fall on these weird ley line magnetic lines, but they're also a lot of them are aligned with celestial things, which
Okay.
the pyramids, like I guess they line up perfectly. I can't remember what uh constellation, but the Egyptians ones do, as well as the Mexican pyramids, both line up with the same constellation.
Yeah.
And then his thing is aligned perfectly with the North Star. This, so like, which I find very, like, to me, it's a weird that even like to this day, if you go there at night and you look through it, the
Right.
North Star is in the center of the hole.
Yeah.
And which I find very interesting that, he aligned that it, but people's like, oh, well, because pointing north, like, yeah, but to think that well and figure out exactly and do it
Yeah.
and have it work, that it isn't at that with basically no rulers and uh you know I have a hard time, like I put up a an axe throwing thing,
Oh, nice.
and I had like the level and everything, and it was a beast, and it's basically just 2x4s and
Right.
two holes in the ground and 2x4s. And I had a hard time. This guy had nothing that I had, and
Right.
he built this whole thing, and I don't know.
There must be some manual construction techniques that we don't know. Like even carpenters and like professionals don't know that this guy figured out, right? Like, he figured out how to move these blocks easily with one person. Maybe he had some, did they never find any cranes, right? Or anything like that to
No,
lift
he didn't
stuff?
have anything like that. He had
Mm.
no modern equipment of any kind.
Right,
And like obviously, I mean, he died in 51, so
right.
obviously, but even in that day and time, the most modern equipment of that day, he did not have. And like I
Yeah.
said, when the thing got damaged in the 80s, even with modern equipment, they could not replicate or fix what he had done.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
And like even now, like they've used computers
Mhm.
and engineers to try and fix. They still are trying to fix that stupid door,
Right,
and they nothing they have come up with. They're like, we have no idea that it was so perfectly balanced in
right.
everything, and it's just like what. And all I can say is that Little Miss Sweet 16 missed out on a gold mine because this guy was a genius. She
Right.
probably married some Latvian pig farmer. It's and it's like,
Oh
what
my God.
you could have been living in a magic castle.
Right. You could have had all this built for you, and it's in Florida. It's warm. You would have enjoyed
Yeah.
the surf. Yeah.
But
I'm
then you
fascinated
wonder,
by it.
yeah, but then you wonder, had they gotten together and gotten married, would
Yeah.
it ever have been built?
No,
Maybe Ed would have become a Latvian pig farmer.
right.
I really
Maybe
don't
that
know
was
what
the
people do in
destiny.
Latvia. So
I think
that's
that's
all I
all they
got.
do. It's pig farm.
Yeah.
I think it's all pig farming. Yeah. And
Pig
castle
farming in
building,
Latvia. It's like
maybe.
kind of like Iowa. There I go, tearing into
Right.
Iowa again.
Nice.
But
Yeah. What Iowa's got
bringing it
nothing.
back. Yeah, they
Well,
got nothing. They don't even have a coral castle in Iowa.
no, they don't have any. They
They
just have corn. That's all they
yeah,
have.
they're corn and pig farms and Latvians.
Yeah.
So
Have you built your wife any kind of castle? I feel like I'm not doing well, right? I
no,
need to figure it out.
I built her an axe throwing area
That was really nice.
that she does not use because she's frightened of it.
Uh,
Like she just has fear that anytime they get thrown, they're gonna bounce off and come back and go right into her head. That's
right. You don't want that.
like yeah, I'm like, come on, that's one time happened one time.
Right, right.
So
Yeah. We
how
all
I
know
mean,
that.
what are the odds it could happen again? And
Right.
nobody missed that guy anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
We don't even know his name.
yeah,
I built IKEA furniture last night and it was so complicated. That's what amazed
yeah,
me with this thing. And that's like it comes with instructions and
yeah.
you spend hours on it. There are no instructions. He didn't take on anybody to teach this or to,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
No, he didn't. And see, that's what's sad. And like with IKEA, it comes with instructions and tools half the
yeah,
time. The
yes,
everything you need is in the box, and
yes,
it's still difficult.
it is.
And
It's very hard.
and then this guy made his own tools from junk
Yeah,
and whatever. You know, I don't know. Now I've read some people say when they go in the castle that they have feel a weird vibe,
hmm.
like which could be electromagnetic of some kind,
Yeah.
because I understand like if you like look into like ghost hunters or whatever,
Right.
um
People feel
they,
that.
yeah, they say like when there's ghosts you feel this weird vibe, but also when you're in an area with electromagnetic currents you have the same kind of feeling, like almost paranoia, almost like someone's around you. And
Right.
some people say when they go through the castle they feel those same things, so maybe he did, because he wrote that whole book about magnetic. Maybe he understood magnetism in a way that we do not.
Right.
That maybe he figured something out, and but it's sad that he didn't share it or take on an
A mentee.
apprentice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want to know, like, did they find any qualities that were electromagnetic up for the blocks? Like, were they did stuff stick to
Well,
them or anything?
no, I mean they're limestone. Like
Yeah,
that's the weird thing. It's like
yeah,
limestone's not really doesn't
not
do any of
metallic.
that.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not metallic. There's no nothing to it. It's just bizarre.
and
Um,
it looks like they're not really attached. Like I'm looking at this one thing they call it the 30-ton stone, right? And
mhm.
it's got like its gigantic slab, and then it's got like two little things, and like something sits on top of that, and then a V, like an upside V,
Yeah,
like a house shape, house roof shape. Like, are they attached or they're just sitting there? They're
yeah,
like, are they just perfectly balanced? This is what I want to know. Like, if you
yeah.
tap this thing, is it going down? Like, I'm worried. Or if you pushed it,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, so here's the weird thing. So he initially started building it and from in Florida City from 1920 and 1936 he built it. And while there he lived in one room of the castle by himself. Then
right?
in the 1936 he hires a truck or rents a truck, whatever you want to say. And then he loads the whole castle from Plant City and just drives it over and moves it there
Wow.
all by himself. So he loads all these huge stones onto a truck, drives it there,
Right.
unloads them by himself, rebuilds the castle and Homestead, and
Right.
then for the next for 1936 till he dies, he added on to the castle. Um, and like I said, the furniture inside is all stone as well. Like so, he made all
Wow.
the furniture out of stone as well. Um, at one point, he opened the site to the public in the late 40s, and he charged 10 cents for admission, and he gave tours.
What?
And but he would not answer any questions about how he his methods. He would just show everybody and let you go
Yeah.
through it and look at it. But he,
Yeah.
didn't. So
Man, because I really want to know. Like, I wonder if
yeah,
there's any engineers that have figured out any part of this. Like, how is this stuff? Now, I just see the blocks and they're gigantic. There's no
yeah,
way
yeah.
you
No,
can move it.
here's the other. This is the sad part of it. Is in December 7th, 1951. This is when he died. So he just put a sign on the door of the castle that says "Going to the hospital."
Yeah.
3 days later, he died from a kidney infection at the
Mhm.
age of 64. He had no will, he had no heirs.
Hmm.
And I said he left nothing. Well, thankfully, here the cool thing is that thankfully the state of Florida
Right.
preserved it.
Yeah.
And I guess, because it could have been one of these like, well, this is good property.
Right.
Let's just tear this
Yeah.
weird crap out of here. But
Right.
they're like, no, this is a nice, a pretty cool thing. So it now it does, they do still do uh the tours of it. I'm not sure how much it is now.
Right.
Um and it's still like some engineers still go there and try and figure it out. Like it's like a thing where people go and they go around, they look at it, they find it amazing, and then
Yeah.
they're like, you know, it's a lesson type of thing. And it would be amazing if somebody could figure out how or why he did it. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be
Now
that's
there's another man. I found there's other guy who built a structure that appears to be somewhat similar in construction, but it's not clear to me. There's a French guy, Ferdinand
oh,
Schmal, I
oh
guess.
really?
Yeah.
Ferdinand, and what did
So
he build?
he built something called the Ideal Palace in southeastern France, and it's regarded as native art architecture, and it looks similar. Like I mean, I can't say for sure, but it almost looks like a sandcastle. It looks like it was
Yeah,
poured.
yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does. That's really bizarre.
So I feel
Like
like maybe these guys both knew how to
something.
build it. Somehow they figured something out. but it's so like now his story. I didn't look into in great detail. I don't think it's as
Now,
mysterious as this guy's with the levitating stones and everything. But
yeah, now the thing about the one in France, it does look more like it was poured and he made these, whereas
correct,
the coral castle looks more like it's chiseled
it's chiseled. Yeah.
in a weird way.
Yes.
Um, it is one of those things where if I were like, I wouldn't want to spend the night there. I feel like there's like demons walking around that
Right.
place.
Yes. Exactly.
Maybe
It's
that's how
something
he got
almost
it done. You
but
know,
it,
I don't know.
well, that's
I
one of
just
the theories is that he had extraterrestrial help, right? So
Yeah. Or
yeah.
yeah, extraterrestrial like the guy behind me over there.
Mr. Blue
Yeah.
Guy is
Yeah.
Project Bluebeam right there
Yeah.
is helping you out. So
Yeah. He's helping me with the podcast today. And he
yeah,
doesn't look happy about it.
I know.
But
I agree. Yeah. Probably
but
hungry. He can't
yeah.
get into the fridge.
Yeah, his name is Bob Jr. So
Bob Jr. I like it.
yeah. Yeah. That's what
But
his
but
name
this is
is.
fascinating to me. The fact that he moved it, he did it on his own, all the tools were just regular things. It's like a
Yeah.
modern day pyramid, really, if you think about
Yeah.
it. It's kind of the same problem. So should we try to build something for our wives to express our love to them? And maybe it could be a sand castle. I hear
Now
that,
I mean I can build a good sandcastle at the beach. I
yeah, I
don't know
mean,
that what what I would build here in my backyard would be ridiculous and like I don't I and I don't think I have the patience to work on something for 28 years.
that's a long time.
That
Yeah.
is like
Like I just want something I can throw an axe at. That's kind of the level, right? You need
yeah.
to, mm,
And that took me a week. And that's sad. See, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. It took me a week.
yeah,
Like if you see it, it's not that great. Like I said, it's 2x4s
right.
nailed together and dug into the ground. And well, the even sadder part is as I was building it, my friend who is a like a a contractor type of guy, he
Mm.
was watching me do this, and he's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Then he left, and he came back like 20 minutes later with an auger and then like. And he's like, you can't, you got to use these kind of wood. And so he gave me wood to like he donated to the cause because he's like the thing you're building will like the minute you throw an axe at it it's going to fall over and
Oh my
he's like
gosh, that's hilarious.
yeah he mocked my masculinity.
Wow.
So
I thought you were going to tell me a story where you had intimidated your neighbor because you were throwing axes, but I guess it went the other.
no
Yeah.
like I don't intimidate anybody with my axe throwing abilities. They're not that great, so I can hit the target, but
Oh,
yeah.
good. Good. We'll
Yeah.
have to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is your how do you think he did it? I want to know your
Yeah. I wish I had evidence that he had some pulley system or something where he
well,
did,
he said he did, but like
yeah,
a pulley system to lift up 9 tons or whatever
yeah.
it is. I
It's
mean,
not going to work. You'd have
one
to have a
one
20 to
guy.
1. Yeah. It'd have to be a 20 to 1 ratio for it to work, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, maybe you get to 8 or something with enough pulleys, but yeah, I don't know. I believe he did something kind of miraculous. It may not be supernatural, but like he figured something out that he's not telling us. And I think that's why it was probably his livelihood. He didn't want any competition, right? So
Yeah.
he doesn't want to tell anyone how to make his castle. He wants his 10 cents per tour.
Yeah. And he didn't charge that much. 10 cents is not that much. Even
Yeah,
back then, that wasn't that
that's
much. I
true. It
mean,
was probably, what is it now like to get in the Coral Castle? It's probably a lot.
like I have no idea. Probably, yeah. Well, now the state of Florida owns it, so they probably charge like a ton to get
Yeah.
in.
Oh,
But
$25 for adults.
wow.
Just looked it up.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
okay.
that's not too bad, but I mean,
Yeah. I
still
mean, for
25
vacation, I
bucks,
guess. Yeah.
you know.
Oh, you can get group tours at this thing. You can do weddings there. Who knew?
That would be a cool way. Had I known about it, maybe I would have gotten married.
Yeah.
But that, like I said, I didn't find out about it until after I was married and kids. Oh, but we did renew our vows. I should have gone down there and done it.
Oh, you should have.
Dang it.
Well, you,
Maybe, for my 25th anniversary, I'll convince her to go down and be like, let's get remarried at the Coral Castle. And she'll
You
be like,
can
I'm not
do,
gonna go there.
yeah, so you can do a ceremony only for up to 50 guests for an hour and a half for
Hmm.
2,700 bucks. That's kind of pricey. But the complete
Wow.
wedding is 6,000. So yeah,
Maybe I'll
make
just
an
sneak it.
options.
Do you have like any kind of like are you a notary or anything? Maybe I
I'm
can
not, I
just
know a notary, but I'm
well,
not,
can you just go become a notary and then
I
we'll just
will.
drive down there and
Yeah.
go in, pay 25 bucks to get in, renew our vows right there and be done. And like I ain't gonna pay 2,700.
No, not worth it. Yeah, it's
No,
a car ride. It's not that long of a car ride, really.
no,
And yeah, we'll do it.
yeah. All right, we're in. We're in. I'll just tell my wife we're going to Coral Castle to renew our vows. We're sneaking in, doing it,
Yeah,
and man, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
right. They're
Nothing.
like, well, you paid your 25 to get in, so
Yeah,
bring what you want. Mm.
yeah, exactly.
I want a picture of it at you on top of that big stone, the 40
Yeah,
ton or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
You and
All
your
right,
wife.
well,
That
yeah.
would be awesome.
Well, you're gonna be there. You're gonna go
I'm
get
gonna
be
be
the
there.
yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
holding
You're
the
gonna
alien. Yeah.
yeah, and you're gonna be doing. You're the notary, and you're gonna perform the ceremony, and we'll get it done. So there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is the Coral Castle. That is the weirdness, the mystery. I hope people go check it out because like look at the photos of it, read about it more, and if someone who listens to us can figure out how to build one and build one up here near me, so I can just go to that one
Yeah.
and maybe watch you build it. And I won't share your secrets. I just want to see how you do it.
Right, exactly. I will sign an NDA. I just want to see you build like a 20-ton wall or something and show me
Yeah,
how it's done.
yeah. And then like I promise I won't replicate it because I'm too lazy to do that.
Right.
And yeah, and I don't have the time to do it. I
Too
just
much.
don't.
Too
Too
much.
much to going on.
Yeah.
So, but there we have it. We have our the. I think we've done it again.
We
We've
have.
run,
Impressive.
and next week is a special surprise
Yes.
because we're going on a trip coming up, and then we're going to tell everybody what our trip was all about.
Right. They cannot know before, but they will know
No,
after. We'll be taking clips of this event and
yeah,
maybe our commenters will add some guesses in the
yeah,
comments.
yeah.
Wow.
If you can guess where we're going, you'll get something special.
Yeah. I like it.
Something special. What could it be? I don't know. We'll figure that out. It will not be Bob Jr. because that's my
No, no.
daughter's.
Don't want Bob
He's
Jr.
staying. But maybe there'll be something else you can get. And
Yeah.
we'll get it to you.
What about a
Maybe
custom axe throwing kit? I mean, that could be
I was thinking just a headshot of you signed. A
it'd be
signed
fun.
headshot, yeah, of
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah.
Tom's custom headshot. So
Right. Me
we'll
just looking confused and like I don't believe anything. I think that's what it
yeah,
should be. Yeah. Which
exactly. Yeah.
which my family tells me that's how I look all the time. They're
All
like,
time.
you're just like, I don't even believe you people are here. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe anything that's happening right now.
Right.
So
Yeah. There
cool.
you
So
go.
there we go. I think we've done it, and people can check us out, tell their mommy and daddy about us and their next door neighbor,
Yeah.
and whatever.
And for this week, I am Tom the debunker
I'm Ken the bunker. So
and this
we
has been Counter to Intelligence, people. Cool.
there you go, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.